Can a patient refuse treatment, even if that treatment could save their life? Today, we're talking about patient autonomy, which is one of the most important principles in healthcare. Patient autonomy means the right of a patient to make decisions about their own healthcare based on their values, beliefs, and preferences. In simple terms, it means the patient has a voice, the patient has a choice. As healthcare professionals, especially nurses, our role is not to control patients but to support informed decision-making. For example, if a patient understands their condition and decides to refuse surgery, we may not agree, but we must respect that choice. It matters because it protects human dignity, it builds trust, it improves patient satisfaction and outcomes. Patient autonomy reminds us that patients are not just cases, they are people. Next, we are looking at the ethical principles behind patient autonomy. Ethical principles behind patient autonomy. Why does patient autonomy sometimes create ethical tension in hospitals? Let's break it down. Patient autonomy is one of 4 major ethical principles in healthcare. Autonomy, respect the patient's choice; beneficence, do good; non-maleficence, do no harm; justice, fairness in care. Here's the problem. Sometimes what the patient wants is not what we think is best. Example, a patient refuses blood transfusion for religious reasons. Beneficence says, save the patient. Autonomy says, respect the patient's belief. Ethical nursing means balancing these principles, not ignoring autonomy. So, ethics in healthcare is rarely black and white. Autonomy challenges us to respect patients, even when it's difficult. Patient autonomy in nursing practice. Nurses spend more time with patients than any other healthcare professional, so how do nurses protect patient autonomy? In nursing practice, patient autonomy means listening to patients, giving accurate information, advocating for patient choices, avoiding coercion. Example, a patient refuses medication. Instead of forcing them, the nurse should ask why. Explain benefits and risks, document the refusal. Inform the healthcare team. Respecting autonomy does not mean abandoning the patient. It means supporting informed choices. When nurses protect autonomy, we protect patient rights and professional integrity. Informed consent and patient autonomy. Consent is not just a signature, it's a process. Informed consent is a key part of patient autonomy. For consent to be valid, the patient must receive adequate information, understand the information, decide voluntarily, have capacity to decide. If any of these are missing, autonomy is violated. Nurses play a major role by clarifying information, checking understanding, acting as patient advocates. Example, if a patient signs a form without understanding the procedure, that is not informed consent. Closing. Informed consent protects both the patient and the healthcare professional. When can patient autonomy be limited? Is patient autonomy absolute? The answer is no. Autonomy may be limited in certain situations. Life-threatening emergencies, mental incapacity, patients under the influence, risk to public health, minors and legal guardianship. Example, an unconscious patient in emergency surgery cannot give consent, but care proceeds to save life. Limiting autonomy should always be legally justified, ethically sound, documented. Limiting autonomy is serious and should never be taken lightly. Patient autonomy and cultural beliefs. Culture strongly influences healthcare decisions. In many cultures, families make decisions, not individuals. Patient autonomy means respecting culture without silencing the patient. Nurses must communicate respectfully, avoid assumptions, balance family involvement with patient rights. Closing. Cultural sensitivity strengthens, not weakens, patient autonomy. Patient autonomy in mental health care. Mental health raises unique ethical questions. Key issues include capacity assessment, voluntary versus involuntary admission, safety versus autonomy. Patients may temporarily lose decision-making capacity, but autonomy should be restored as soon as possible. Mental illness does not erase human rights. Autonomy in end-of-life care. End-of-life decisions are deeply personal. Autonomy includes DNR orders, advance directives, refusal of life-prolonging treatment. Healthcare workers must respect patient wishes even when emotions are high. Dignity at the end of life is a form of care. Common violations of patient autonomy. Autonomy is often violated without intention. Common violations include withholding information, coercion, ignoring patient preferences, making decisions for patients. Awareness is the first step